Hello,
Hello.
Saad. Hello,
Hi,
hello.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Not clearly.
Okay, one second. Sorry.
It's okay. I cannot see you.
Yeah, hang on a second. It should be on. Camera's on. Audio's on.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. You can hear me
Mm,
now?
Yes, and see you much, much better.
Okay. Okay, great.
How are
Perfect.
you? All good?
Yeah, yeah. It's another cold day here in Oslo and yeah, getting into winter mode, so everything's all right.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I'm coming to Denmark actually Saturday, Sunday. So
Okay.
it's
Getting
also,
ready.
yeah, getting ready for it. Exactly, man. How is everything
Okay.
going?
Yeah, I mean it's Christmas time, yeah. So it's you're getting ready for all that. It's family time. It's getting ready to sign off from work and everything in between. So that's the usual chaos, controlled chaos, let's say, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot to do these days, right? Family, a lot of good food and gifts and nice, man.
Absolutely,
Nice,
absolutely,
man.
absolutely. So it's soon up in the cabin, soon up on the skis, and soon very happy. So we'll see sometime next week.
Wow, amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, just to yeah, I'm recording. Forgot to say that. So just to now I've
Okay.
said it. How it's great to finally see you, put a face on you, and
Sure.
tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what you do for a living, and so on.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's name's Harrison. I'm 37 years old. I live here in Oslo, Norway. Work for a vessel owning company. It's got nothing to do with financial markets, but we obviously are in charge of trying to basically make these vessels keep these vessels working. So I kind of negotiate contracts and help chase the pipeline for these vessels that build and work offshore. So
Very
so
nice.
that's my day job, and again maybe a bit far removed from let's say day trading or trading in general, but it's yeah, that's my day job.
And how long time have you been doing that?
Trading
No,
since
no,
I was
the like your
working.
job.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
15 years. 15 years.
15 years. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing. So, as you said yourself, it's far away from the financial market. Where does that come into the picture?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I basically my background is economics and finance, believe it or not, in school, and so I actually have been trading in some capacity since I was allowed to, which in Norway is 15. So more than half my life, I've been trading in some capacity. So that's something that I've gotten from my father, from my dad in particular,
Nice.
and he's basically yeah, kind of instilled some basic, I'd say, some investment principles in me from a very young age. And again, I think like maybe a lot of people in my 30s, you have a little bit of seed money from maybe what you've made from those early investments, and yeah, you basically start you kind of keep that, pretend like it doesn't exist, but it's kind of, let's say, your investment portfolio apart from pension or retirement accounts or anything
Yeah,
else.
the
So it's
standard
just,
things.
it's more like your kind of active investment portfolio, let's call it that. Where you're basically looking to try. Yeah, again, you're making your own picks
Exactly.
versus somebody else's. So yeah,
That's great. That's nice. Like most of our members, they are like when they started, they didn't know anything about trading. But you have another background. That's also very interesting. So,
yeah,
why did you choose us? Like,
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think what I'm always open to is I'm always curious to see a couple of things. And one is like, obviously, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of trends in kind of, let's say, investment. Let's call it digital finance or investment kind of advice. And I think SAS trading and SES trading is just one of them. Obviously, there's a lot out there,
yeah,
and I think it's from my perspective, it's something where I'm always curious to see. You know, Obviously, if you boil down my own stock picking, whatever tools or analysis I'm going to do, it's going to come down to a trade or a pick, and there's going to be a time element to it, and there's going to be a volume element to it, as well as individual, what stocks or let's say what assets I'm investing in.
Yeah,
And so I'm always curious to see what other people are thinking. This is definitely not my only tool. Obviously, everything from people that are like me, that are let's say, and maybe different experience levels. But I talk to people all the time that are investors, like me, and I'm always curious. What are their picks? What are their, what are their babies? What are they? What are they long on? What are they short on? What are they? I love those conversations. So I think getting it from let's say a digital tool is what kind of appealed to me in the beginning. And I think it's because it's pretty cut and dry. It's basically something that you could, again, here is a stock, here is a pick, here is a time, go and execute, or basically take it or leave it. But here is my opinion.
exactly.
I think to me that's something that I think is really fascinating, because again, everyone's got an opinion, but it's like, okay, what are the decisions you're going to make with those tools?
Exactly. Yeah,
And
I 100% agree. It's actually very interesting you're saying that. So everybody have an opinion, but
yeah,
nobody like, oh, not nobody, but most people doesn't share like, hey, this
yeah.
is what I'm doing and I'm doing it right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think, and especially maybe if you know somebody, like if it's a personal relationship that you to somebody that knows you physically. But again, I think with this online stuff, it's just like, yeah, again, there's just so much noise, right? Whether
A
you're,
lot.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's kind of what initially, yeah, again, kind of I thought was interesting about this, and when I first kind of got led onto the platform, I think that's what struck me was that, yeah, again, it's just it's pretty concise. So again, obviously not very time demanding. If you are doing any other type of analysis, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
Sometimes I have it, but obviously the more busy I get, the less the less amount of energy I can kind of commit to doing anything else. Let's say more traditional work. And so yeah,
Exactly.
so I think that's kind of what jumped out at me and appealed to me. It was relatively simple. I've played around with a few other platforms or tools, but they are again, I think either they don't want to give you the picks up front, they don't want to give you the kind of suggestions. They want to give you advice, but not like actionable information. And so I think that's
Interesting.
that's the that's the thing that I saw as being very different. And then yeah, just being really, I'd say, relatively straightforward and simple. So again, I think this is something that you could give to, and just from your marketing material that I kind of went through a little bit as well on the platform and off the platform. It seems like, yeah, again, you're obviously maybe targeting people who are newer to this, or maybe again, also don't have a lot of time to maybe invest. So I see that.
Exactly.
I see the business case or the value proposition as being relatively strong. Again, I think there's obviously you've had a few incidents out there in the recent past where maybe people can be a bit skeptical about tools like this. But again, I think the fact that you've got a relatively sound track record, and again, it's basically no bullshit, to kind of put it bluntly. I think that makes people feel a bit more comfortable with kind of your value. Yeah, again, your kind of setup and value proposition.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Exactly what you said. Like we are targeting mostly like beginners
Yeah,
or people that are not beginners like yourself, but busy on a daily basis because
yeah,
doing the analysis, looking into the market, it's very time consuming. That's what we do full time.
yeah,
And then we share whatever we pick, what we do ourselves. So I'm very happy to hear everything you said. It makes me very happy because that's what we are working for, striving for the past years. And obviously, as you said, like most people, they will be skeptic, and that's very normal. When you see something online, you don't just jump on it, right? So it's
yeah,
also important to be skeptic, but also to be open for new ideas because we can show everything. We can show the track record. We can show we have thousands of members, all of these things, and it's just accumulation. So
yeah.
that's very, very nice. For how long have you been a member now?
Yes, it's about 2, 3 months ago now. Yeah,
Very good. And
yeah.
how was it when you started? Like when you came in, you have some knowledge, but how was it? Like, did you feel, okay, this is easy for everyone, or did you feel there's something they could do better there?
No, I mean, I think it's a bit hard to put my mind, put the hat on of somebody who was maybe all this was all new to. But again, it seemed like the UX and everything else was relatively easy to follow. These are all conventional platforms people are familiar with already. So again, I think this is not a I don't think there's a huge gap for maybe people that are new or experienced to this. I don't think it's necessarily difficult, but I'm guessing you guys spend a bit of time kind of figuring
Yeah.
out the right GUI and the right user experience.
100%. And also, like, we get a lot of feedback from members, if we had this or if we had this in the training videos and so on, then we implement and improve all the time. But I think right
Yeah.
now we are in a place where it's like totally friendly, I would say, for beginners.
Yeah. Yeah. Because again, obviously the other tools that I have at my disposal, again, if I took a beginner and showed them, a traditional kind of investment platform online, that would not be, it's not user friendly at all. It's not
No,
something that you would necessarily, you give them $1,000 and let them run with it. It's maybe a bit dangerous. And so I think that's where, yeah, again, I think there's a plenty of space for this. And I think you kind of have,
mm,
just from talking to you, it sounds like you have your mind kind of set right where you are trying to build that comfort with these people, maybe me included, right? Me included. So it's not just new people to finance, because again, I think there is kind of a mixed track record there with these kind of tools in the past of people maybe being a bit skeptical here and there. But then again, I don't think sexism is a bad thing. I think it actually can help you stand out.
exactly.
Again, I think the more of a track record you build, the easier you'll be able to kind of stand above all the clutter and all that noise that's out there.
Yeah, 100% agree on
Yeah.
that. So the last 3 months, how has it been?
Yeah, again, I'd say my favorite thing is of course seeing the picks, and I don't know. Of course, it's not actionable. Like I don't take all of them. It's more just an interesting thing to see what they are promoting, and again, I obviously look at that against my own portfolio, and it has been, again, it doesn't take a lot of time. So whether I actually pull the trigger, or just let it go is almost irrelevant. The fact that it doesn't eat up a lot of my day, I can look at these picks and actions and say, yeah, I think that's actually not a bad idea. That feels like it jives with my broader strategy, with my broader ideas about, yeah, different stocks, different picks, different, macro trends that I feel are happening. So I like it. Again, if it was something that took more than 15 or 20 minutes a day, I probably wouldn't use it, to be honest. If it required more minutes of my life on a daily or weekly basis, I probably would just ignore most of it. But again, I like the fact that it's pretty short and pretty concise and time sensitive too. Like, it's something you need to think about and decide, whether you do it or not. You need to do it now.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%. I agree. I agree on that. So in terms of like I believe you like over the last couple of months, you have like done some of the trades, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Not all
How
of them, but
how
yes,
have
I have.
No, no, again, and we don't, there's no reason to do all of it, right? I
Yeah.
say
Exactly.
to everyone, like, hey, if you did a good trade, you satisfied for the day or for the week, there's no reason to do more, right?
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
satisfied with
Correct.
the profit and move forward. That's great. That's amazing. But how in terms of profitability, like, are you profitable? How
Yeah,
much
yeah,
have you
yeah. It's
made?
yeah, correct. Yes, I mean, so I went in with the minimum because, again, I'm just to be make my life easier, and again, it's something where at this point, 3 months on, I basically have about 2.5 times the money, so that's pretty
Nice.
good. Again, it's something, I think it's something where I'm impressed by the fact that it has been so quick relative to, again, yeah, my own portfolio, again, it makes me, I think the thing that maybe you haven't thought about this, but again, I think for maybe more traders like myself that are maybe a bit more experienced, I think it's something that it helps frame your other investment strategy as well. Like, it helps maybe frame where, what sectors or what geographies or what areas you're maybe focusing on, especially if you're picking individual stocks, which, again, I generally have a mix, but I'd say more than half
Mm.
my portfolio is individual stocks or mutual funds.
Okay, that's interesting. So you know the difference. Like if you made 2.5 your money on that, like
Yeah.
usually on stocks, if you just invest, it's like a different game, right? So it's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah. And even if you kind of remove the kind of upward market trends we've seen in the last three months, it's still pretty close to 1.7, 1.8. So if you ignore the kind of, the kind of trajectory that the markets are on in general, that's still pretty damn good. That's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So what is
Yeah.
what is the plan now? What are we looking into?
Yeah, I like the fact that the money itself is can just kind of keep growing. And again, I think the next step is whether I basically put more money in, or kind of, yeah, again, basically it would be coming out of other investment, other parts of my portfolio. So it wouldn't necessarily be like any of my nest egg. It's just money that I would allocate to the platform or not. And yeah, again, I think I'm not unimpressed. I think I just want to wait and see. Again, I am yeah, I've been doing this for long enough, so I think I just wait until maybe the 6 month mark or the 1 year mark, and then if
Yeah,
I say, all right, let's throw in 4 or 5 grand and really let's do something bigger here, or I think that's kind of my thing. So it's a bit early days, but I'd say happy with the results so far. And again, it's a pretty slick or smooth platform that you've built. I don't know how long it took you to do it, but it's again, I'd say it's a solid experience.
I'm happy to hear everything. And Harrison, I'm also looking forward like to follow this because as you
Hmm.
said, you have been like 2, 3 months, you are experienced. So like
Yeah,
within the next, let's say 4, 5, 6 months, can
yeah.
take another call and see like where are you now? Maybe you invested more money, maybe I don't know, whatever
Y-
happened, it's very
Yeah,
interesting to see the whole way, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, and I'm happy to have a follow up and let you know how things are looking. But again, I would imagine that if I get to 6 months, my thought is like, yeah, if the trend is even kept, or if it's improved, or gotten better, who knows? But if it's at least as good as it is now, then yeah, I think it would be
Yeah.
sensible to put some more, allocate some more money and some more capital into this, and see how it goes.
100%. We are always working on improving, of course, but we always also try just to keep, the status we have right now. The win rate we have right now is very, very high compared to the industry. So
Yeah,
that's the goal for us to keep that as the minimum and try, of course, to improve. There's always ways to improve, but also the market change, right? So we need to adapt. So when we
yeah,
adapt, the most important thing is to keep the baseline,
yeah,
to give you and all the other members on and ourselves, the
yeah,
profit that we are looking for.
yeah,
So that's amazing. Anything you want to share, like for people that are watching, that like beginners or
yeah.
skeptical or anything?
Yeah, I think again, it's a relatively low threshold to get involved. So I think
Yeah,
if you're skeptical, I think, and I would put myself in that category initially. I would say like, yeah, I was maybe not as yeah, again, but it's a really low buy-in, and
yeah,
I think it's not something that you can. Yeah, I know, even it's just see where it takes you. And I think if you aren't impressed, then that's fine, and if things go well, then carry on. So I don't think it's necessarily a huge. I wouldn't call it necessarily a risky proposition. And again, I think
mm,
if you're new to investing, I think there's a lot of tools on there that I didn't necessarily use as heavily as maybe someone who was new. But again, just flipping through it a little bit, it seems like it's pretty, yeah, again, it kind of holds you by the hand and gets you up and running. So that seems like a good set of
yeah,
features.
yeah, 100%. And again, if you put money in, it's not for you. Withdraw your money and
Yeah.
live your life again. It's very
Yeah, yeah,
simple.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not easier than that. Oh, it's not harder than that.
Yeah,
Perfect, Harrison. It was a pleasure speaking to you and looking forward to follow up on you again. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach us.
perfect. Thanks so much, Saad, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
enjoy your Christmas time back in Denmark.
Thank you. And you too, man. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye.